From the existence of the lovable yet very strong Beta Ray Bill to the surprise appearance of an old friend, many insanely cool small details in the MCU are really easy to miss. So today we are going to take a look at the tiny but insane details in Marvel movies fans definitely missed, starting with Beta Ray Bill. Even though the Hulk is the best gladiator champion the Grandmaster has ever seen, the challenge had been going on for a long time before the giant green Avenger showed up.
How'd you arrive here?
Quinjet.
Yes. Now, where is the Quinjet now?
Thor got involved in the end, but during Thor Ragnarok, one of the shots pans across the alien planet Sakaar, and viewers see what looks like a tower with faces of past winners on it. At the bottom left of Hulk's head, it appears that there is a horse with a cap. This isn't just any horse. It wouldn't be a Marvel film if it was. It's a Corbinite, which is an alien species. Beta Ray Bill is the Corbinite in question, and he has many of the same and equal skills as Thor does. Fans are hoping that this statue means that the lovable oddball will finally show up in the MCU in some way. He may not feature as a character anytime soon, but at least we know he exists. That definitely has fans looking forward to his timely appearance.
Earth hate Hulk.
Earth loves Hulk. They love you. You're one of the Avengers, one of the team, one of our friends. This is what friends do. They support each other.
You're Banner's friend.
I'm not Banner's friend. I prefer you.
While this next detail is from a TV show that no one really paid attention to, the character we're about to look at is one of the best. That's right, it's none other than Wolverine. Jen Walters can be seen on a Disney Plus episode of She-Hulk, looking for a new job by browsing through websites. One of these sites has a sidebar with a title that says, "Man fights with metal claws and bar brawl." This could be a meta commentary on how supporters of the Marvel Cinematic Universe are looking for any sign that the X-Men will show up, but it could also be about something else. Mixing in these strange encounters and reports could make it seem like mutants have always been around, but for one reason or another they have kept themselves hidden from most people. The mutants are going to be a main part of the MCU one day or another, so it's good to see that they've started hinting at it already.
Jen.
What?
Jen, what are you doing? Eye on the prize. Come on, seriously.
Sorry, I'm sad and lonely.
Jen.
Moving on, Kang wasn't just the ruler of the Quantumania. He also ruled Egypt at one time. Wait, what? Throughout the history of Marvel Comics, the villain known as Kang has been shown to be behind some of history's best and most well-known rulers. In the third episode of Disney Plus's Moon Knight, fans were actually given a hint that Kang was actually present during the past of the MCU. During a fight on a rooftop with some thugs, one of the said thugs can be seen wearing a jean jacket. On the back is a spray-painted picture of a pharaoh. Not only is this pharaoh drawn in the famous green and purple colors of Kang the Conqueror, but it is also of Pharaoh Rama Tut, an Egyptian figure in the name that Kang the Conqueror took on. Kang is known to have many variants, all ruling or working in different places, so that makes this a neat little detail. It's a small detail, but one that definitely fuels many fan theories about Kang and his past. Speaking of characters' past, do you know where Obadiah Stane used to live? The name might make it a bit obvious, but it's none other than Stane Tower. There are some great baddies in the MCU, both in terms of how they are played and how they are written.
Till you meet my variants. He came to kill the devil, right?
Look, that's what.
I keep you safe.
Other characters, on the other hand, fill out superhero stories by being stupid fools. One said fool was Obadiah Stane, who was the main antagonist in the first Iron Man film. He was desperate and angry at Tony Stark, which drove him to try to kill Iron Man, allowing him to take over the company that Tony's father had started. In the first scenes of the Hawkeye Disney Plus show, a sign on the bell tower shows that it is called Stane Tower. Stane was so small-minded that he probably saw Stark Tower in the middle of New York City's skyline and wanted his own tower. Well, that's just sad. Talking of building new places, did you notice this next one? New Asgard. Thor Ragnarok follows the events after Hela attacks Asgard and destroys it to smithereens. Thor has to find a new home for the few Asgardians who are still living. They move to Earth soon after that and in Avengers Endgame. New Asgard is shown to be in Tonsberg, Norway. At first glance, it may not seem like this is important. However, fans of Thor Ragnarok will remember that Odin said this was his home just before he died. ride, but it is also where Red Skull and Hydra finally found the Tesseract. You know, the Infinity Stone that was most famously used to give Scarlet Witch and Captain Marvel their powers? That place was never a stranger to great power.
It is upon us. Ragnarok.
No, I've stopped Ragnarok. I put an end to Surtur.
No. It's already begun. She's coming.
Furthermore, it's always very wholesome and fulfilling when old characters make appearances in the movies. A similar case was that of the return of Harley Keener. Even though most people won't know this character by name, he is best known as the boy who helps Tony when his house is wrecked. He is on the run from Cillian's men in Iron Man 3. At the end of Avengers Endgame, many people from Tony's past come back for his funeral. Harley, who came back to say goodbye to Tony after he died and was hiding in the crowd, was someone that many people forgot about. I remember how hard it was to figure out who that random person standing in the crowd was, but it was just him, all grown up. Other than Harley, some other previous characters also showed up in that film. I'm talking about Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck isn't a very well-known Marvel figure. However, he was in the scene after the credits of Guardians of the Galaxy, where he and Cosmo were part of the Collector's collection of creatures. Howard won't be the only one to show up in the MCU though. He came back for both Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Avengers Endgame. Howard the Duck shows up behind the Wasp in the final fight scene, after Wong and Doctor Strange open portals to all the different characters. No one knows how helpful a talking duck would be in this last fight, but Howard was there. This one was absolutely hilarious, to be honest. The next one is a case of a hidden identity. We're talking about Dr. Donald Blake. In older Thor comics, the Asgardian god kept his identity a secret from the rest of the world by going by the name Dr. Donald Blake. This is similar to how many heroes of the past hid their names through aliases. Even though most of the MCU heroes no longer hide who they are, Thor's old identity was at least briefly addressed in his first movie. Jane gave him a fake ID and said it belonged to her ex-boyfriend, who was good with patients but bad with relationships. Later, it was revealed that it was actually Donald Blake's ID. S-H-I-E-L-D quickly figures out that Thor is not the person on the fake ID and finds out who he really is. This one was iconic and hilarious at the same time. The last tiny detail is regarding one of the most famous vehicles in Marvel, the Batmobile. Just kidding. We're talking about the X-Men jet. Even though the X-Men aren't yet a part of the MCU, there have been a few references to them over the years. Scarlet Witch is the most obvious example, but there was also a reference in Iron Man. This is when Tony tests the flight capabilities of his prototype suit and tries to beat different jets in terms of altitude performance. One of the jets shown in the testing process is the Blackbird, which is a real-world jet that is also used by the X-Men. That's actually pretty cool and well hidden. I completely missed that while watching.
No way, that's a UAV.
What is it?
I can't see anything. Whatever it was, it just bought the farm. I think Bogey has been handled.
That's all for the tiny but insane details in Marvel movies that fans definitely missed.